On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about The Commercial Album by The Residents. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Cam.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. And today we are talking about something different because it's September, and September is a month when we don't necessarily talk about metal.
Or talk to metal.
We don't talk to the metal.
Actually, no, we do talk to metal all day long.
Well, yeah, it's partially
we're talking to metal right now.
Yeah, some of that's metal. I mean, most of it's metal, in fact. Quite a lot. Some of it's plastic.
The actually working parts of it are metal.
Some of it is like silicon. Some of it is...
in case you're out of the loop here, we're talking about microphones.
Almost every part of it, like most parts... I mean, there's nothing organic in there, I would imagine.
Probably not.
Most things are metal, actually. Like, most of the periodic table is metals, I feel like. I feel like the vast majority of the periodic table is metals.
I don't know. Is it?
I'm gonna look up how many metallic elements are there? There are 92 out of the 118 elements.
So yeah, you're right. You're right then.
Are considered metal. Some of them are not things you would necessarily think of
like
as being
sodium.
A metal, but they are, because if you get a big block of sodium, it's shiny and silver. It's a fucking metal. Right.
If you get a big block of sodium, throw it immediately in some water.
Yeah, do that. And in your house, too.
In your house, standing over it. Yep.
Yeah. Or huck it into a lake.
Yeah.
Wear a glove before, don't touch it with your skin. But put on, a big rubbly glove and huck it into a lake.
Right. That'd be hilarious to watch all the fish float to the top.
See what happens.
That is a fun thing. I
don't think it would really hurt the fish because from what I've seen of people hucking a chunk of sodium into a body of water, the chunk of sodium does not go into the water. It explodes. It explodes and then bounces up and then drops down and then bounces up again.
So it's like skipping a stone.
Yeah. Very explosively.
I think it's neat how the two of the most dangerous things on the periodic table.
So tasty.
Yeah, if you stick them together, are necessary for life.
We need it. Need it for them electrolytes. It's what the plants crave.
I haven't watched that movie in so long. You need to watch it again.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. I took a lot of exercise today. It was good. I helped you move a section.
I took the corner piece out of my sectional, so now it just looks like a regular couch.
Yes. And I did a bike ride, and like I said, horse ride.
Yes, that was not exercise.
I exercised my thumbs and whatnot.
You exercised your patience because you're hanging out with your son? I don't know.
Yeah. But he can be trying sometimes.
It's not necessarily true, but I feel like it's, everybody gets tired of their kids every once in a while.
He's one that is hard to get tired of.
That's good.
But yeah, he's one of those kind of guys, always curious, always looking for adventure, always wants to do fun stuff, and sees if you're not feeling good and will calm down. Yeah. And if you're sad, maybe he'll come over and he'll scratch your head. You doing okay there, buddy? And let me get you some water.
Some water.
It's like my 11-year-old taking care of me like that. Oh, so I didn't tell you about this at work today on purpose because I wanted this to be a fresh story tonight.
Okay.
So last night, I'm headed north on Broadway, the main artery through Minot.
Passing by all the theaters.
Passing by yeah, exactly. The performance of Cats there on.
Passing by all the theaters and all the beautiful women, all the beautiful dames.
Kinda.
Okay.
But I'll get to that. So I'm going, and I see up ahead, there's this guy who's the most aggressive hitchhiker I've ever seen in my life, because he's doing this with his thumb, like a hitchhiker thing.
Yeah, he's sticking it out.
And then somebody goes past him, so he decides, well, it'll be easier if I just jump into the fucking street in front of the car with my thumb out. So maybe people don't understand what I'm doing. Maybe if I do that. the car in front of me swerved, and then he did this in front of me, and he looked at me like angry, and he did his thumb, and like I swerved, and I went around him, and I go into the shop I went into, and I said, "What the hell is your microphone closer?" Huh?
You're so far away from your microphone.
So they went into the shop, and then I...
yes, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but it was bothering me.
I know.
You're like 5 feet away from your microphone.
And I'm rocking over here, so it's probably... Whoa.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go into this, and I come back, or I talk to them, and I said, yeah, he was in here, and he was belligerent. Like, oh, shit. So what was going on? So I went back out, after I purchased my, gallon of whiskey or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
a good old gallon of whiskey.
It was Tuesday. So... So I see him out there, and now he's down at the next street light, a block south there, standing in front of a plumber's van with his arms in a t-shirt like he's Jesus Christ on the cross.
Interesting.
And he's standing there, and the light was green. There's horns going off, and a plumber. I mean, they're plumbers.
Yeah,
they work with their hands. They
Mario
lift pipes. They're Mario. So the one guy, gets out of the van, jumps on top of him,
and kills him outright.
No. Actually did pick his ass up and throw him on the sidewalk bodily. And then he got back. I mean, the van drove past, and they drove past me, and other people gathered next to me. And the guy and the plumbers are like, call the cops. No, they said
somebody call the police.
So they did. They said, there's a guy down there. So we're watching it. We called already. And so eventually, I mean, he's pulling people out of their cars. He's just we're like, what the fuck? And then 2 minor police come, woo, and racing from the north, and get in on the guy, and they jump out. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's on. And then I run and get my car. I'm going to go rubbernecking. And then so I went south on Broadway, and I'm looking over to my left, and they had detained him peacefully. They had his hands behind his back. Nobody was getting beat up. They were giving him a stern talking to. And that's the crux of this story. If they're looking to decrease the budget for the city of Minot, I think what they can do is just move the budget for the police to calendar based, because we have some fucking hot police officers in this town right now.
Oh, Jesus.
There were these, these calendars would sell worldwide. Like these 2 women who had this guy in custody.
Hot cops.
They're in uniform, so boyoing. And then
sure.
And plus they were being stern with the dude.
Oh God.
That's triple boyoing right there.
Let's get the Minot Police Department calendar.
Yeah, I would say even the dude that was with them, he's like 6'2", square jawed, muscly. I'm like, he's fucking hot too. Everybody's hot in the Minot Police Department.
I feel like there's 2 kinds of cops. Mm-hmm. There's either young, put together, hopefully not racist.
Yeah.
Probably racist.
Well.
And then there is old and done with it.
Right.
And just like, I barely passed my fitness exam this year, and I don't give a shit.
And that brings me to, sometimes I'll see our friend Aaron around, and I'll have that hashtag not all cops thing go through my head.
But it's that was
so that was my
story.
That was my story. I'm like, oh well, they didn't. Wow, look at that ass.
Look at those police officers.
Oh man, you could bounce a quarter off that cop.
Some hot cops. That should have been our baseball team, the Hot Cops, instead of the fucking Hot Tots.
No,
I believe we talked about we talked about this last week, but now it's how's that? Were there more developments? Or is it just top 3 now?
It's top 5, but then she explained to me, because I talked to the owner. The owner came and talked to me in the Zoo studio, and I interviewed her, and she said, okay, well, I'll be honest, the list of the candidates right now, that's actually in order of where they are in the standing.
Yeah.
As far as, and then the top one is Dak Rat.
Okay.
The second one is Hot Tots. That's the second.
That's the number 2.
That's the number. That's the number 2.
Tots.
The Hot Tots.
Which, I mean, I talked about this last night with a couple of friends, where it's like number 1. Mm-hmm. It's a shitty name for a baseball team.
It is.
And it's just a bad name for a baseball team. Mm-hmm. Number 2. People do not think of like I'm aware of what tater tot hot dish is.
Sure.
I've grown up and spent my entire life in North Dakota.
I want some right now.
And I'm aware of what tater tot hot dish is. When I hear hot tots, I don't think oh, obviously that's a reference to tater tot hot dish because we're a town in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. No. And like number 3 is what it does make me think of is something that's going to get me put on FBI list if I Google it. Mm-hmm. If you Google hot tots, the FBI is going to put your name on a watch list.
Exactly.
And it's like fucking. I mean, I said this to you yesterday when you told me that is still in the running,
right?
Which is it's no better than if someone had submitted Teamy McTeam Face.
Yeah, exactly.
I really wish I had done that.
I would vote for that.
Teamy McTeam Face.
Teamy McTeam Face.
It would have won. It would have won. Like there's a channel called Internet Historian that has several videos that are called I think it's like the internet is serious business or something like, or like just serious business. And it's about all the different times that corporations have put out surveys or be like, you get to choose the name for our new thing. And it's a bad idea every time. Fucking turns out well. It's always a bad idea. Or like there's a big convention where there was like a big business convention where they had these TVs throughout the convention center that displayed a Twitter feed of everybody that was using this hashtag. And so somebody posted that hashtag on 4chan and those televisions displayed nothing but pornography for the entire rest of that convention. Nothing but furry porn.
Oh, furry porn.
I'm sure there was more kinds, but I think that was the primary tilt of that. But it was like you can't do this shit on the internet.
Right. Yeah, see, now when I was younger, when I was your age,
when you were a young man,
when I was but a young warthog, they would do stuff. Corporations would say, we're going to give you the chance. And there's no verification process because there was no internet. So you get to choose between these 5 things. And they're like, yeah, we've already chosen. We've already made the decision that we're going to tell you what you decided, which is what we really decided at the end of this contest. And it becomes obvious, but
I'm trying to remember what the Mountain Dew flavor. Mountain Dew did a thing where they were like, you can name a new flavor.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it was something really dumb. There was another thing where it was like, compile your, this new burger that we're doing or something like that, where it was just 2 buns or something. It's like you cannot put this shit out into the internet and not expect people to fuck with it.
Yeah.
Like that's 100% what they're going to do every single time. And honestly, the thing is, I don't think that Hot Tots is necessarily that case. I think someone earnestly was like, oh, it's like tater tot hot dish. I'll submit this. I don't know who that's an impression of, but
yeah, I don't know. It was almost Jennifer Coolidge for a moment there.
It's gonna be tater tot hot dish. I don't have a solid reference for Jennifer Coolidge, but
yeah.
In any case, I still don't like DAC rats, but at the very least, it
makes sense.
It makes some amount of sense. I just, when I hear rat, I'm just like, yeah, we're the rats.
But then
we're the fucking rats.
DAC rats are not rats, though.
What are they?
They're prairie dogs. They're a specific breed of prairie dog.
I haven't heard people refer to those as DAC rats. They're always just prairie dogs.
Well, because prairie dog is a general. I mean, there are different species.
A ground squirrel.
Yeah, they're a type of ground squirrel that fuck up your property. If you got DAC rats, having a warren or whatever it is, you call what they build
burrows.
There you go. Yeah, they will chew your wiring. They will ruin your pipes. They will tear your siding.
Yeah. I just want to call them prairie dogs. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to call them. But
that was our call, right? DAC rats. That's what.
Oh, that
was the submission from our radio station.
Okay, that's fine. Then I support it 100%. I think it's an amazing name. As a DJ of these radio stations, I would like to say it has my full, wholehearted support. Absolutely. This is the voice I use on the radio.
No, it is not.
No, it's not. That wouldn't get old.
Right.
That people wouldn't get sick of that. Hello, I'm here to introduce music.
I sent a response video over Snapchat to somebody actually speaking, and it was somebody who only knows me over Snapchat, and we don't actually send videos to one another at all. And I can't remember what I said. It was just, describing something, and she's like, "Is that what your voice sounds like?"
Yeah.
That's what she says. That's your work voice. What does your regular voice sound like? And then I sent her just an audio clip that said, "Ooh, baby, I like it like that. I'm going to touch your boobies." That's me during coitus.
That's what you just heard on the radio station. That was me during coitus. And next up is me after coitus.
That's right, Mama. Fix me a sandwich.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Did you turn into fucking Johnny Bravo?
You smell good, baby. You want to smell me?
Fucking Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
I forget about Johnny Bravo, where it's like, oh, that was really a cartoon that was on, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It was just this big, dumb, hunky dude. My brain stopped working.
Right.
Because I listened to The Residence earlier today. So that means that my brain is no longer functioning.
Oh, well, I'm glad it has an effect on you.
Yeah, it does. I was trying to think if there's anything else that has happened that I felt like talking about. And nothing has really happened. Nothing has really occurred.
With me neither.
It's been a boring one.
Which is not bad.
It's not bad.
Right.
I mean, it's better than, my life falling apart.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes I feel like the kid in The Incredibles. That's just like where Mr. Incredible is like,
oh, right.
What are you waiting for? Something amazing to happen. Me too.
That was wicked.
But then the cool thing doesn't happen. I just keep waiting.
Right.
Because I'm not going out to do the cool thing.
Right. You know what you need? You know what you need then?
What?
A big wheel. We need to get
need a big wheel.
We need to get you a big wheel.
I need to ride around on a big wheel.
Yeah.
And go past people's driveways
and
until I see a retired superhero. And wait for him to, lift up his car.
Right.
What does he do again? Something with his car, isn't it? He gets like mad at his car and destroys it, doesn't he?
Yeah. Okay. He has he's having a stressed out day.
Yeah.
He actually fucks up the door and he picks up the car to throw. If he's gonna throw it or smash it. But all we see is we turn to see the kid pop a bubble on his face.
Yes.
And so
he puts the car back down.
Bob puts the car back down.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time since I've seen the original Incredibles.
Me too, but I've seen it like 700 times.
So every second of that film is
burned into my.
That's what happens when you're a dad, I think.
It is.
I think my dad could probably recite most of the Beauty and the Beast by memory.
That's the movie you watched as a child?
No, I have two older sisters.
Right, that's right. All right, that's from 94. Yeah, that would have been their childhood movie.
Like I think there are a lot of Disney movies that my dad probably, if like they were on, my dad could probably mouth the words along with them.
Sure.
Because that's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it goes. I've started watching clips, and I don't know if I just want to keep on watching just the clips of this show because it's kind of sort of a feel good thing. And also I don't want to maybe watch the entire rest of it because it's a lot of television. But the show This Is Us.
Which, I've heard of that.
Like I'm culturally aware of.
Mm-hmm.
It was a show that was on NBC that wrapped up fairly recently, actually. That's about, I thought it was like, sort of like this romantic thing, but it's actually a family drama.
Okay.
Where it's about this family and there's 3 siblings that are adults. One of them is adopted, but they're all the same age. And then a lot of flashbacks of them and their childhood with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of like really feel good moments, but a lot of drama and tears and crying. Like the show is basically known as like, this show will make you cry, the television show. And so I'm like watching clips from it. I was like, wow, this seems like a really good show. But I've watched so many clips where it's like, I don't need to watch the actual series anymore. But I started watching that because I've not watched Creed 2.
I haven't either.
And Milo Ventimiglia shows up at the end of it because he played Rocky Balboa or Robert Balboa Jr. In the movie Rocky Balboa. And he didn't appear in Creed. And people are like, where's Rocky's son at? Why isn't Rocky's son in it? Where he shows up at the very end of Creed 2, which I haven't watched. But I was watching clips from that as well, going like, I should watch Creed again. It's a really fucking good movie.
I mean, it's a great movie. And then I feel like the reason they made Creed 2 is because Creed, he went and tried to take over Wakanda.
Yeah.
And then
they needed to recover his reputation.
Exactly. And so they decided to make him an athlete again.
Adonis Creed, failed his attempt at taking the throne of Wakanda.
Exactly.
And he got reconstructive surgery done on all his crocodile scars.
Exactly.
And went back to just normal glistening Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, exactly. And not the him of old either. I mean, winning all those championships in the 90s, I think. Yeah, I mean
the 80s and the 90s and
the 90s.
That's and that time when he was the singer in that band, right? There was a band that was named after him.
A band that Michael?
Yeah, there was like a band named after Creed. They had a couple of hits, I think.
Sure.
It was named after that character, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he was the lead singer.
Exactly.
Famously.
I remember him in the movie going back to boxing and just shit talking like this. All the time.
Listen here, Stallion.
Stallion.
I feel like we're insinuating that Scott Stapp has had his mouth wired shut.
That's how he fucking sings.
Now I'm imagining Scott Stapp doing like stage banter, trying to do that with his mouth wired shut.
Somebody keeps punching him in the jaw.
Because he's an asshole.
He's an asshole. So he's up on stage, and they recorded their whole album. Can you take me higher to a place where golden trees?
Has to stop and take a sip of water out of a straw.
It's fortified with nutrients because obviously he can't chew anything.
Drinking is Ensure.
Yeah. I lived on that for a week. It was crazy.
Ensure?
Yeah.
Why'd you live on Ensure for a week?
Because I had all my wisdom teeth taken out at once. So it was fun. After that happened, of course, they don't let you drive because they knock you out for that shit. So you can't drive afterwards. So I called a reliable source to come pick me up and take me home, and that'd be Shane Parsons. And so he took me to Albertsons. This is how long ago this was.
Okay.
The grocery store, Albertsons.
I'm aware of it.
It was here in Minot. So I went in and we rented a video game console so I could have something to do in my time off while I was high on Percocet and weed. Yeah. So I played
classic combination.
I recommend 10 out of 10. So
don't do it. How about just weed?
Yeah, just weed or just Percocet if you have a prescription for it, which I did. I didn't have anyway. So
we are not medical professionals.
We are not medical. If you take medical advice from us, that's bad.
First of all, sorry.
Second
of all, please don't sue us.
And please don't listen to us. If we give you any advice on anything, really, it's bad advice. So I sat there for a week and I played Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Nice.
Drinking Ensure and eating applesauce.
Nice. That sounds like a hell of a week.
It was a week. It was a hell of a week.
When I may have only had 2 wisdom teeth.
Really?
I can't remember exactly what my wisdom tooth situation was, but I think I only got 2 of them taken out at the same time. I think I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's like the only time I've ever been knocked out for something.
Really?
And they did that thing. It was like, all right, we're going to count down for 100. All right, do it with us. And I was like, I'm going to get so far.
I got 99.
I got to like 96, I think.
Oh, really? You made it longer than I usually do.
I may have gotten to 96. I can't entirely remember because I was fucking high.
They knocked me out recently.
Recently? For what?
I told you they did an endoscopy, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They put a scope into my stomach. They didn't put a scope into my stomach by the order of my doctor. He said, I want it because he gives me medicine so that
we got to take a look in there.
We got to take a look in there. And then I had it done, and then he fucking quit.
The doctor quit?
My doctor quit. I'm like, why isn't he calling, trying to set up a follow-up?
My results?
Yeah, nothing needed. Yeah, he left. He's gone.
You were too much.
Yeah, he left a note.
I can't deal with this shit anymore.
Fuck, Mr. Bennett, and this. I'm sorry this is written in my own blood, but I mean, fuck.
You've ruined me.
Yeah,
You've ruined medicine for me.
I'm not going to be a hooker again. And but no, now I have a new doctor who's very odd. He's a very odd fellow. My new doctor.
Is his name Dr. Oddfellow?
It isn't. That would be awesome.
That'd be a good doctor name.
But he's one of those who leaves it up to you. He's that doctor. I'd probably recommend this. You're almost 50 now. You should probably you don't have to though. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. You could do this to help you with your stomach thing. I mean, you don't have to. It's whatever you want to do.
So I mean, he's giving you the standard you're over 45 treatment of we don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, you're probably gonna die soon.
So why even bother?
Exactly. Enjoy your last fleeting moments.
Even though they will be spent in pain because of the thing you came in to visit us for. Sorry about that.
He says I have cataracts too, by the way.
Oh,
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have trouble seeing.
All right. And I remember my grandpa had cataracts, and then they told him he had this is you'll understand me a little bit better when his doctor said, well, Mr. Unruh, you have cataracts. And he says, yeah, no, I got two of them. One's a 77, one's a 78 Brougham.
I don't get it.
It's a car.
Okay.
A Cadillac.
Oh, okay.
And he did have two Cadillacs.
All right. Now I understand. That's a very good joke. I'm just... That's always the reaction you want.
Yeah.
That's a very good joke. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
I would love to be on stage doing stand-up. and then there's a crowd full of people, and then just one person
complete silence.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a very good joke.
Very good joke. Aren't you clever?
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
The doctor that took out my wisdom teeth was named Dr. Deathridge.
Oh yeah, Deathridge. Yeah,
it's spelled Death Rage, but it said Deathridge.
Right.
What kind of medical professional removes wisdom teeth? Is that
an oral surgeon?
An oral surgeon. Okay. Because I was trying to, an orthodontist can't do that.
Right now.
They don't fuck around with your gums. No, that's just their teeth.
Right, they just put braces on you.
It's just the teeth and sometimes the position of your jawbones.
Right.
But they're not going to get in there and dig around. They're just going to put some shit on your teeth that'll help change how they sit. That's what they did for me. They put on my back molars. Mm-hmm. It was called a Mara device. Really? I don't remember what MARA stands for, but in any case, I guess it's the goddess of love in Skyrim. I know that.
Yeah.
But no, they were like metal caps that they put on the back teeth, and then they had these like interlocking triangular metal arms that were, small enough to fit back there. Mm-hmm. And the result of it was they would slide across each other and push my jaw forward.
Wow, neat.
Because I had an underbite.
Oh, did you?
So that was the purpose of that.
So that's why you're so square jawed at this point.
Yes, that's why I have such a heroic lantern jaw of justice.
When you opened the door, I thought, well, fucking Hercules is. Oh no,
it is I. I've got fucking from 2005 onward Guts jawline from Berserk. His jawline has gotten progressively squarer, and it's like maybe is it just the sheer amount of testosterone? It's just that'd be weird if that was the way that worked, where it says testosterone makes your bones more square. That'd be. Let's find out and start doing steroids.
Exactly. What have I got to lose?
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about The Residents.
All right. Speaking of steroids. I don't know.
Somehow.
I have no idea. Yeah.
So yeah, The Residents. We've talked about them before. Why don't you explain The Residents?
The Residents are an avant-garde art troupe.
A collective, one might say.
A collective. Now, there's been rumors over the years that the members have changed, and like it's sort of a rite of passage in the music industry that you have to be a resident for a year.
Yes, it's like going to work at a hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to complete your residency.
Because exactly. So yeah, because they wear disguise.
Yes.
They're originally from Louisiana. And they decide,
Shreveport.
They decided that they're going to, make it into the art industry. They got to move somewhere where the art is. And they decided that was in Northern California.
Sure.
Which they broke down in Central California in their bus.
So stayed there.
Stayed there, kind of. I mean, they eventually migrated up there, but...
they eventually, after a couple of years of traveling, several wagons breaking down, people dying of cholera.
Exactly, dysentery.
They finally reached Northern California.
They actually had to eat. There was 5 of them before.
They were going to go to Oregon, but that was too far.
Right, yeah, the trail... It was long.
It trailed off.
Exactly. They've been around. Well, the first album came out in 1974. The year that I popped out as well.
Okay.
And Meet the Residents was Santa Dog was the first thing they ever put out. But
yes, their first album generally is considered to be Meet the Residents.
Right.
And then there was Third Reich and Roll.
Third Reich and Roll, which is, by the way, fantastic. You should listen to that one. It's 2 songs.
Okay.
It was an album, a record I had. But what they did was they took pop songs of the last, however many years.
Okay.
And they spliced them together, and they learned to play along with those pop songs. And then they just recorded them playing along with those pop songs and didn't put the pop songs on there. So
that sounds like the production process I remember reading about for a couple of songs on the Captain Beefheart album we listened to.
Yeah,
they did something like that.
Sure, that sounds. I mean, that's the same camp. Basically.
Extremely putting a ton of work in to play the song badly in the most precise way possible. Like it's gonna sound like shit, but we'll be able to reproduce it perfectly, which is its own form of art. Right. Certainly.
So that was it was 2 songs on Third Reich and Roll.
Then Fingerprints.
Yes.
In 1977. And that's, by the way, Prince.
Right.
Then Not Available, which was recorded in 1974, but not released until 1978.
They had their version of Satisfaction on it.
Then there was Duck Stab, Buster and Glenn, which we talked about. Was that last year? I don't remember.
So. It's hard to say.
Then Eskimo in 1979.
That, by the way, has no music on it.
It has no music?
That's just they tell a story with sound effects for the entire album.
Interesting.
I mean, it's somewhat musically done, but I mean, it's basically just sound effects.
Is that the first appearance of the Top Hat Eye, the cover of that album? Or had that been used as their iconography before?
I feel like that had already been used. Yeah, I mean, like my sweater here.
Yeah, you're wearing a Residence sweater at the moment with the dapper eyeball man wearing a top hat. Then in 1980 came the commercial album, which is got an interesting gimmick.
Yes.
Explain it.
Well, they they played 40 songs, their own top 40.
Yes.
In 1 minute, 60-second songs that they sort of boiled down
41-minute songs.
Yes. They boiled down to just 1 minute, thinking that they just take all the fat out of a pop song. And like you said, I remember that as you said it, that if you play them three times in a row,
over, you get a pop song.
You get a pop song, which you're right, is not always the case. But I mean,
for these songs anyway. But there were genuinely a couple of them where I was like, oh yeah, I can't. Oh, it's over. Where it was like I wanted it to keep going because it felt like it was going somewhere, and then it was over with. It's like I could extrapolate the rest of the song. I feel like this is one of those things where you could give an AI that 60-second song and then have it continue the rest of it, and you'd come up with something decent.
So now you kind of know how my ex-wife felt.
Extrapolate.
Yeah, well, would you just get going for just get going where I could have more of this, and then 60 seconds in, it's over.
Sure.
Talking about sex, Kale.
Yeah, I know. I know. So, does this album slap?
I don't think it slaps.
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And you say you don't remember any of it.
I hardly remember. Okay, there are 40 songs on here, and each of them is only a minute long. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to stop and take a look at the title of the song, it would already have moved on to something else. I
can sing along with the whole thing.
I'm sure you can, because you're a weirdo. I will say I didn't dislike what I listened to. I enjoyed it, and in the same way I enjoyed Duck Stab as well.
Sure.
I will say this in general, kind of living up to the idea of the album. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very tongue in cheek, the commercial album, but it's still the Residents being weird. But it is less weird.
And you say it's been confirmed. Well, because first of all, I think they got a little bit of notoriety in the community. I think you're probably right that David Byrne and Brian Eno are somewhere on here.
And the Wikipedia page for the album says that it has been confirmed they were on the album uncredited.
Right. And a lot of the guitar work was done by Philip Lithman, aka Snake Finger.
Good. Oh yeah, I know Snake Finger.
Yeah,
I'm aware of Snake Finger.
they did a whole album at his funeral.
A whole album
called The Snakey Wakey.
Did they write it for that, and then did they have it prepared, or how did that work?
It's a little,
or was it all improvisational jazz?
No.
He has a special appearance on Moisture.
Yes.
And
he plays a good lead guitar there.
Vocals on Ups and Down.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Sandy Sandwich. Provides vocals and guitar on Margaret Freeman. Then there's, is it Lene or Lean? Lene Lovich.
Lene Lovich, yeah.
Okay. A secret special appearance. Nessie Lessons providing vocals on Amber.
That would be Hardy Fox's first wife.
Okay. Then Brian Eno. So apparently where they are, Brian Eno plays synthesizer on the song The Coming of the Crow, and David Byrne provides backing vocals on Suburban Bathers, which I want to know how that happened. In the sense that, all right, we're going to have David Byrne in here as a featured, and he's just going to do backing vocals on this song, because he was probably just hanging out. Well, if you don't know, David Byrne is the frontman, lead singer of Talking Heads.
Right. And he's done a lot of solo stuff.
And a weird dude.
Yeah. And
he's a weird dude.
I feel like how this happened was, and I feel like with Brian Eno it was the same, was they got a phone call. The Residents got a phone call with somebody, and at the other end of the line, it was David Byrne going, what the fuck what do you guys?
This is the most delightfully bizarre thing
I can't stop listening to this
I've ever heard.
Can I do anything on the album?
Because this is kind of...
Well, man, come on in.
If I remember, David Byrne kind of sounds like this a little bit. He has sort of his speaking voice. He kind of speaks very deliberately, but also he's kind of, his pace is very deliberate, but his intonation. Right. Most of my examples of David Byrne speaking are clips from the film True Stories, which is just a weird little film that he got to make because he's David Byrne.
Have you seen the children's special that John Mulaney did?
No.
You need to watch that.
Okay.
It's fucked up. It's fantastic. Nobody knew how to feel about it, but David Byrne does let's teach kids about stuff segment.
Okay.
With John Mulaney on there, and it is fantastic.
True Stories is a studio. Okay, there is also a film. I was like, the link took me to a Talking Heads album, and it shares its name with True Stories film. also, of course, with David Byrne.
Right.
There's a great quote that I actually have as a picture on my Tinder page, which is a young John Goodman, who his character is. He's this guy who works at a plastic factory
that makes plastic, right?
Yes, and he is he's looking for love, so he's made a videotape that like advertises him to be a boyfriend, and what he says is he's however tall John Goodman is, he's like, I'm 6'1" and maintain a consistent panda bear shape. And so I have that on my Tinder page as a, I have a screenshot of that scene, and then I photoshopped 5'11" over 6'1" on the subtitle. Because I'm kind of panda bear shaped.
Sure.
More or less. But I eat less bamboo than a panda bear.
But yeah, I mean,
not no bamboo, just less bamboo.
Actually, bamboo is actually pretty good. Have you ever?
I've never eaten bamboo.
Because you can get bamboo shoots in there. They're tasty.
Sure.
Go buy yourself something called La Choy.
La Choy.
Yeah, it comes in 2 cans.
Is it like? See, now I'm just picturing it's LaCroix, but it's bamboo flavored LaCroix.
I'd try that.
Sure, why not? It probably wouldn't taste anything more like the thing it's supposed to taste like than any flavor of LaCroix.
Sure.
Which just tastes like television static.
I kind of like those water drinks, the fizzy water drinks, that it tastes like what happened was they accidentally spilled it into a container that used to contain something else.
It's like,
I don't mind that.
It's like when you get a chocolate milkshake at McDonald's the day after they stop making
Shamrock Shakes. Yeah.
Or it's like, this is too minty.
Yeah. Well, Shamrock Shakes don't taste minty.
They don't?
No, Shamrock Shakes are, what the hell flavor is it? It's, the fuck flavor is it?
The flavor of Ireland.
It tastes like Ireland.
With a southern accent.
I don't know why.
Well, this tastes like Ireland. My goodness.
You remember that trip we made to Dublin?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the flavor of it's a sweet something.
I feel like this is a classic McDonald's conundrum of it doesn't actually taste like it.
Yeah, it's an actual flavor.
It's not a real flavor. It tastes like Shamrock Shake is what it tastes like itself.
Well, what if it's actually flavored with actual shamrocks?
I feel like that would be difficult. Or what if they grind up I don't know.
Leprechauns.
It's ground up leprechauns?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I didn't do a lot of, looking up scores or anything like that. Let me take a look at what, Wikipedia has to say here. The only thing they have all music, that's a 5 or a 4 out of 5. So that's a 80. What's your experience with this and with The Residents in general again? Because I can't remember what your story is with The Residents.
I came into The Residents a little bit later. I mean, I didn't really start listening to them till like my late 20s.
You didn't start listening to them when they started out because you had just been born.
Correct. And that would have been weird thing for my mother to do is to play The Residents.
That thing where they press the headphone cups up to the womb, like listening to music, and it's The Residents.
Yeah, my mom was into things like Mickey Gilley. Definitely not The Residents. I was already working in broadcasting.
Okay,
I was working over at a building that does not exist now over at KXMC, and I had a weird friend who also worked in production who says, you're an odd duck. You would probably like The Residents. So like, I don't know, man. And so I went.
I don't know. I'm pretty cool. I don't know why you say I'm the weird guy.
Put some pants on, buddy. So, no, yeah. So my first Residents album was their new album at the time, which was Wormwood.
Okay.
Which is Curious Stories from the Bible. Which is
okay.
Yeah, which they sang. Here's some fucked up thing. It's in the Bible, and they would they put verse and book and everything. Right? If you don't take our word for it, look it up. And and so I listened to that, and then I think I next got Buster and Glenn, Buster and Glenn, and then I think Third Rock and Roll, and then I think the fourth album was this that I picked up because I read about it and I went, that's weird. I got to listen to that. And
you said, well, what a concept.
Yeah, what a concept.
You could use the residence yourself. And we could all use a little change. That was a stretch. I really reached for that one.
Yeah. Smash mouth there.
Yep.
Smash you in the mouth.
Please don't.
I mean, with my fist. No,
I wasn't. No. I realized something that we didn't talk about in our before conversation is because we've already talked about Rings of Power
to
each other this week, so it didn't come up during the episode, but some other time. So we'll just skip. I know I don't have a favorite song on this album because I can't remember any of them. What's your favorite song on this album?
You know, it depends. They all sort of they're different things. The ones that are even for me, but I mean, I do remember like we brought up Moisture. I love Moisture. I love Die and Terror. I love Moisture. The lyrics are so weird. Someone saw a stranger now with moisture on her lips, and it was also on her arms and on her hips. No one knows who she was or how she died, but when they looked inside her purse, they found a snail inside.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah,
but not surprising for the residents.
No. Also, Die and Terror. Love Is.
Sure.
Love Is sounds like this is very happy. Love is only loneliness divided by another. Love is only living for the lonely. Love is only loneliness divided by another. And I know that life is lonely.
60 seconds of that.
Yeah, that and the song Amber, because it reminds me of my friend that I snap every day.
Yeah. So what medal are you bestowing upon this album, like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca?
I don't know. Can you give it a medal? Can you do that with this? I feel like we give I feel like we bestow medals based on, you know, how we felt about this music that we listened to. I feel like this was something other than music. I feel like this is a different experience.
I mean, it's art.
It is definitely art. I mean, I feel like they really accomplished something. They worked really hard. They did something really good. They did something that I listened to and have listened to for the last, 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to kind of put
I don't know where to stick a medal into this.
A qualitative judgment on this as a cohesive piece of art.
Right.
It's more like walking into an art exhibit that consists of 40 very small square paintings where it's like they're, it's can fit on a postcard.
Right.
And they're just sort of evenly spaced on the walls of this large white art gallery.
Yeah.
And you walk in and you look at them and you're like, well, that's okay.
And then somebody says, what'd you think of this album?
What? I don't know. I don't have thoughts anymore.
Have you ever seen, by the way, a picture of Persistence in Memory? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Salvador Dali with the melting clocks and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you've seen the like on the internet or on your phone or whatever. But have you ever seen somebody standing next to it?
Is it very small?
It's tiny.
Oh, interesting.
It's a tiny picture.
It's a very small painting. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I don't know. There was a thought that floated away. And
like
it's
a
gone
fart in the wind.
So yeah, I have no idea what to. You make a very good point. It's like I would have said Silver because I didn't dislike this, but I think you make a very good point where it's hard to really kind of make any sort of qualitative judgment about this the way we would with other things we tend to listen to.
Right.
So sure. I guess that's what we got to say about that.
I think with this one, because you normally have 3 medals, I feel like there are 92 medals that we could be picking from.
There's a lot of different medals here.
Yeah. Actually, we give it a sodium.
Schizosodium.
Yeah.
If you get this album on vinyl and throw it into a lake, it's gonna explode.
Exactly.
You need to handle this album with rubber gloves on. Sure, why not? This gets us sodium. So next week is the week that I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
For a very long time. Coming up is the release this Friday. Coming up is the release of what will be the newest Wonder Years album. The Hum Goes On Forever, and I'm extremely excited for it. Every time this week where I've been like, God, this sucks, and then I'm like, but Friday. But Friday, there's a new Wonder Years album coming out, and I feel better.
Well, I mean, it's such a weird thing to think. I feel better about the new Wonder Years album. It's going to make you cry.
It's
going
to emotionally destroy me. I'm certain of that. But I'm also excited for it.
Yeah. I can't wait to be that upset.
I can't wait to be sad about this thing that's not happening to me.
Right.
It's just songs that I like.
Right. And they made it specifically for you.
Yes. They all got together and they're like, this one's for Kale.
This one's for you, Kale.
That's the first song. It's going to open up. Soupy's going to be like, hey, Kale, we know you're listening, and we want to say we really appreciate that you're our fan, even though you've never been to one of our concerts before.
You son of a bitch.
This one's for you. And then the album starts.
Why?
The first track is called A Message for Kale. What the fuck?
And why is Soupy H. John Benjamin?
I started getting too nasally there.
There you go, Cal.
Hey, this one's for you. That is vaguely what their bassist sounds like, I think. I think that's Nick Steinborn I'm thinking of. There's a lot of people in the Wonder Years. It's like there's a lot of members of that band. It's a little hard to keep track. But anyway, that's next week. The Hum Goes On Forever by the Wonder Years.
Their last album.
I hope not. But also, if it is, I don't think. I mean, I'll be sad, but I don't think it will make me all that angry because they're all in their mid-30s. They got kids, they got wives, they got other things to be doing with their time than touring across the country.
And there's been too many bands that I really, really liked that made like 5 too many albums.
Yeah.
So, guys, please.
So we'll see. But in any case, that's next week. Until then, why don't you go ahead and visit our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter if you want to. Follow us on either of those platforms, and maybe you'll get your updates about new episodes coming out that way. Otherwise, subscribe to our feed on whatever it is you're using to listen to us. Or check out alternative services such as the Apple Podcast app or Libsyn's The Podcast Source, or however it is you decide to get your podcasts. Maybe not however it is, because we might not be on it. But
sure.
Anyway.
However you're getting it right now.
Because apparently you're getting it right now. You're getting it somehow. So subscribe to it on there. Why not? Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations.